I'm Dylan Cook, and I'm here to present Are Women Equal in Modern Day Society? And from what the research has shown that I've looked at, there are certain aspects of our society that undermines women still to this day. They've made great strides to become equal to men, but there are certain things that we still have an issue with in this society. To begin that is with pay gap. White women will make 78 cents to a man's dollar. African American women will make 64 cents, and a Latina woman will make 56 cents compared to what a white male would make $1. Sexual assault is another aspect of our society that is predominantly a problem for women. 1 in 5 women will be sexually assaulted in the United States. Only 1 in 71 women will ever have that kind of, or men will ever have that kind of issue. Um, Poverty is another thing that affects women significantly more than men. 24 million women are living in poverty in the United States. 6 in 10 poor adults will be women, and 6 in 10 poor children live in single mother homes. This is because of the divorce rate that contributes more to this single motherhood parenting. Divorce affects women more than men. In the beginning, obviously, the woman gets the house, the cars, and the other things because a woman is looked at as the caretaker for the child in the United States. But this becomes a problem when they find out that how much the male contributed to the household financially. Like I said before, with the pay gap problem, 78 cents to $1. You can see why a woman can't keep up with the funding that the male brought into the household. So this is where you find problems years down the road when the woman has a harder time affording things for the children. Domestic violence is a female dominant problem in the United States. 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted by a partner. 1 in 5 women will be physically assaulted by a partner. Obviously, that's a higher rate than what males are affected. Males are only 1 in 7 will be physically assaulted. With murdering of women, 1/3 of all women that are murdered in the United States, likely the male partner was the murderer within a 9-year period of them being together, whether married or in a relationship. Politically, obviously, the United States has never had a female president. In the House of Representatives, 19.4% of the seats were held by women. Only 20% are held by in the Senate. So obviously, males dominate all aspects of the government in the Senate and the House. Only 4 women have ever been Supreme Court justices. This is a very important role in the United States government, and very few women have ever sat on that board and been a participant in those functions. Sandra Day O'Connor happened to be the first one to break the ice for the Supreme Court justice for women. Victim blaming is another thing that we have in our society. Oftentimes, you'll hear victims be told she should not have wore that. If she wouldn't have been wearing that, she wouldn't have had these kind of problems. She brought the attention onto herself. Those kind of things are said to make the victim seem like it was her fault in the situation, even though it wasn't really her fault. And just a case that was done by Sarah Gainham of CNN. A Pennsylvania woman was raped. She was a clerk for the Pennsylvania prison system. She was on a secure floor for a while, and they happened to move her station to an unsecure floor where a prisoner had come in and raped her. The Attorney General said this would have never happened to her if the second door wouldn't have been locked. Obviously, I see a problem with that because the first door was locked, he had busted through it, and the second door was unlocked, and obviously he walked through it and then proceeded to do what he did. Obviously, there's no woman that should be in fear that a man's going to take advantage of her in any prison system or any system outside of a prison. Obviously, this should have never been presented this way by the Attorney General. There was no excuse for her to be raped in any way. Wage gap. Only 5% of the Fortune 500 companies are headed by women. So that means 95% of men are heading the Fortune 500 companies. So obviously you can see that women are not represented and not given the ability to run these top companies around the world. Women have half the chance of lower end promotions and even worse, 1/16 of a chance of higher end promotions. This is according to Janine Baxter, the professor at Tasmania. Those are my references, but to conclude the whole presentation, you can obviously see that these are major problems for women still that need to be presented and need to be looked at by men and females alike. So these problems need to be addressed and fixed. Thank you.